Welcome to your new iPad. So as you notice, the iPad that we got for Pine School are very similar to the ones that we had before. However, there is an additional feature with these new iPads, and that is access to the Logitech Crayon. The Logitech Crayon will give the ability for students to write on their iPads as if they're writing on a piece of paper. Now, to turn on the Crayon, what you'll do is there's a power button right here. You'll press and hold it until you see a green light appear. And once that green light appears, go ahead and let go. And then the Crayon is active. So you can check to see if it's active by how you interact with the iPad. So I can use it instead of using my finger to move the iPad around. If I open up the Notes app or any other app, I can go ahead and click on the pencil tool in the bottom right corner and write using the iPad and the Crayon. To turn off the Crayon, you just press and hold until that light comes back on, and then let go, and then the Crayon is no longer active. And you can test it by trying to draw on the screen. To charge the Crayon, what you'll do is at the top here, you will just pull that off, and the same charger that you use for the iPad, you will just plug into there to charge the Crayon. I recommend that you charge it after about 2 to 3 hours worth of use. Definitely charge it. When you see red lights blinking right here, that means you have about 10% of your battery left. Now, to replace the Crayon back into the case, you just want to leave it flat, and you'll notice that there are some ridges in here that match to the Crayon, and then the tip will go down to the bottom part, and you just slide it in, and it'll kind of snap in securely and hold your iPad. Now let me go over a few other features of the iPad with you right now. So there are a few differences with the current iPads as opposed to the older iPads. The main difference is how we get our apps for the students. Before we used a program called Self-Service. Now we're using a program called Manager. So if I don't want to do that, get a little drawing tool here. So right there, you can see the Manager app right there. By opening that, you'll see a list of apps that are owned by Pine School and pushed out by Pine School to students. If there's an app that a teacher specifically requests, that app will show up in the student's iPad. It's also important to note that when there are multiple students from Pine School living in the same house, to not get the iPads mixed up, because they are assigned to a specific student and for the specific class. To know if you have the right iPad, if you look up here in the top left of this Manager screen, you'll see your name. In this case, this one is just student number 1, but you will see your name up there if it is your iPad. If you need to download an app, all you need to do is just click on the app. So I'm going to try to download this Tayasu Sketches right here. So I'm just going to click it, and you'll notice in the top right it says command sent to the device. And I want to give it a few seconds before I try doing anything. So you can see right now it is downloading, but sometimes it takes a little bit longer. You just want to have some patience with it. If you have any other problems, you can contact the school and I can help you with that. But once the apps are downloaded, you're free to use. Most of the apps are available, will have the pen tool available to them. We'll be going over that with the students as we progress through the year. Hopefully changing how we do things at Pine School. It is also important that we take care of our iPads too, to ensure that we get the most use out of them. One of the things that we want to make sure on our iPad is battery life. We tend to have tend to overcharge our iPads and mobile devices quite frequently. What we want to do is make sure that the students are not plugging in their iPads unless the battery percentage is at least below 50%. And I would even recommend even letting it go down below 20% before you would charge it up. In most cases, every 10% equals about an hour of use. So if you're worried about being charged, just wait till it goes below 50%. That way we can conserve the battery life of these iPads. And because we're not on school campus, there are a few things we want to do to ensure that you're using the most current version of the iPad. With the iPad OS is to click the settings right here, the little sprocket. And when you go in here, you'll go into General, right there, and then go to Software Update. Now, as you can see, this iPad needs its software updated, so I would download and install. I recommend not doing that until you have a weekend or a few days free, because this can take a long time to download. If we were at school, I would force the downloads, but since you're at your house using your internet, we just ask that you do that whenever it's convenient for you.